Suffice to say, I've not allowed my guest this morning to sleep for a while. So please welcome Idilioye Oluwaseyitan Lawrence Aletile. More popularly known as Seyi Law. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Have I been allowing you to sleep well?
Well, I've always loved to sleep.
Because the first one of these fellow said is that some people, as you grow older, you sleep less. Is that your experience as well?
Not for me. I try to always make sure that I keep it balanced. You know, I sleep when I want to. You know, sometimes my friends laugh at me because I can be in the club and I'll sleep.
Really?
I don't mind.
With all the noise?
Nothing stops my sleep. And I think that is one of the things that I'm grateful to God for.
So how do you manage your sleep cycle when you travel? Those 6-hour trips, 8-hour trips, and then time zones change?
Well, sometimes when I don't have the opportunity to sleep, you know, probably because of work or something, I always, you know, find a way around it later to make sure that I have the deserved rest that I needed. And I make sure that sometimes I have the deep sleep so that when I wake up, I'm feeling refreshed and I'm good to go any other time.
You don't allow your body to be in debit of sleep?
No, I don't give chance to that. I don't.
So thank you for being here this morning.
You're welcome.
How did comedy begin for you? I know this is a question you may have been asked for quite a number of times.
Yes, a lot of times. Comedy, you know, a lot of time I tell people that comedy chose me. I didn't choose comedy. You know, for those who probably schooled with me, they know that when it comes to book in quotes, I'm always very eager to learn. I'm like they say, sucker for knowledge. You know, I'm always searching for knowledge and all those stuff. But then, you know, there's just this aspect of my life that had to do with entertainment from when I was in primary school, secondary school. You know, we used to have something that they call social gathering because I was in the boarding house at some point. And so I always come up to do riddles and jokes, you know, like we used to do back in the days. And a teacher actually awoke that in me when I was in primary 3. We call him Double Akins. It's quite unfortunate. I don't know where he is. He's a man that I would have loved to see. You know, when I was in primary 3, he was a student teacher, the NYSC stuff, and he came to our school then to teach. And you know, he will always come up with different jokes before he started his teaching to help us relax and laugh. And so I started telling those jokes to other people, you know. And
so you started with copyright, Chaloro?
Yes. You know, and it was so, you know, that became a part of my life, you know, and then I took interest in acting. By the time I was in SS3, I had become, I was the president of the Cultural and Dramatic Club of my school, and then we formed a body then, Lagos State All Secondary School Cultural and Dramatic Club, and I became the first chairman. And I remember that a young girl from Holy Child, Yemisi Da Costa, I'll never forget her name. She was the vice president, and then we had the secretary and all the stuff. So we were trying to make sure that we have a body. We used to bring some of the actors to some of our major programs. And by the time I had finished secondary school, I wanted to study medicine, you know. And I remember at one point I scored 257 in JAM. At the other time I had 281. But somehow along the line, I guess my mom had some financial issues and I couldn't go on to study medicine. And one day I was doing the business center, phone call business center at the relay bus stop. And I had finished, I got home at about 11 p.m. in the night. And we saw a movie then, this program that he used to do on DBN, I think, Night Shift. And then there was a movie on Snow White and all those stuff. And when we finished, I did a joke from the movie. I said, I remember when we did the premiere of this movie, and then we had to be on the queue to stand in front of the magic mirror, and we were asking the mirror, who is the fairest of them, what is my number? And the mirror would look at you and say, oh, you are the 10,000 most finest person in the world, like that. And then our former president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, stood in front of the mirror, and the mirror said, "You are the second most handsome person in the world." And I said, if Chief Olusegun is the second, then definitely I'm number one. And so I just said, let everybody go. I went behind at the queue, like, no, people can go. The number one is here. And then when it got to my turn, I stood in front of the mirror, and the mirror started crying that your face is not even in our register of fine people. You know, I remember I did that joke, and my cousin was very impressed, and he said, you know, this thing that you always do at home, you make us laugh at home, do you know that people are making money from it? Okay, in about some few Sundays from now, we're having a program in a church. We'd like you to come follow us to that program and, you know, come and do this thing. Let people know that you can do it. Before then, I'd been into dancing and trying to get into the movie industry. I remember I used to trek from Orile to the National Art Theatre, the Artists Village.
It's not far now.
And we used to do that trekking, pass through white sand, you know. And I remember there is this comedian now who has just, probably a lot of people are just getting to know him, MC Danfo. He wasn't Danfo then, we were at the Artists Village at the National Art Theatre, and the late uncle Sam Lokoefe sent both of us on errand to get him a pack of cigarettes and a bottle of beer, you know. and that was one incident. This was in 2003. That was one incident that lived in my memory for a very long time. You know, remembering that I didn't really get to meet him after I became popular in the industry, but then that was the memory I had of him. That was the closest encounter I had with Sam Lokoefe. And so in 2005, that happened. My cousin, they went to the church. We were going to perform in that church. They went to perform, and then when they introduced them, I went on stage and I cracked joke, and people were falling on their chairs. And you know, after I finished, a lady walked up to me. We are doing a program in our church next week. We would like you to come too. And then it was like, I said that you guys will have to pay something. And she said, can we give you 750? You know, 750 naira then was the amount of money that I would make if I was at my business center from morning till night. And so when somebody said that, can we give you 750? 750 naira. Just to come and do 10 minutes of performance. I was almost going crazy. My hair blew everywhere. You know, I was like, jeez. I ran to meet my cousin. My cousin said, 750.
It's cheap.
It's so cheap. I said, something that I will be at the bus stop from morning till night.
You still don't be there.
Sometimes you don't even get to make it. I said, I know it's not cheap. And you know, I went to that church. I had that performance, and I met the MC then at that church. They call him MC Doggy, who later became Emeka Smith.
Wow.
You know, he was MC Doggy. I had chosen for myself Seyi Easy. You know, when I go on stage, I say Seyi Easy. People will say, no, easy. I say to say easy for no day here, they also. You know, those were some of my tagline when I started. And so one day, Emeka Smith, who was MC Doggy then, we had met, we became friends. He was very impressed with my performance, and he said, oh, let's host the event together. You know, and we did that event, we became friends. One day he called me and said, there is a program they are doing in his church that he would like me to come for that program and perform. But that day I didn't have money. And I was somewhere at McCollum Street in Ebute Metta. And I had to trek from McCollum. I had to leave early. He said the program would start for around 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Wow. And I had to leave McCollum at about 12 o'clock, 12 noon. I had to trek through Onyibo to Apapa Road to Nigeria Biriati Gomo, through to Orile, then Koka, and then to Link Aguda. You know, I trekked, got into that place. I had a palm slippers and a faded jeans and a blue shirt that I inherited from my brother. You know, and then when I got there, he took me to meet the other guys that they were organizing the event together. And while I stood by the chair where the guys are seated, he said, now the boy where they tell you now be this, they're very funny, this one and that. And you know, the organizer, the lead of that group, had looked at me from head to toe and was like, he looked at me. And the next statement he made was, this thing cannot climb our altar.
Wow.
You know, when he said that, I could have felt bad. I could have felt bad. But then, you know, I'm somebody who was well trained. You know, I remember this saying in Yoruba that the dustbin that refuses to take death will never be full. You know, and so if you want to be full, a lot of debts will be thrown at you. So what do? The most important thing is when they throw the debt at you, just, you know, dust yourself off and become a better you. And like I always tell people, if you're prepared for an opportunity, when the opportunity comes, seize it and give your best at all time. And so later on during the course of the program, they were having some lapses. You know, they were waiting for the guest comedian to come, who was Jedi, to come. And so because he wasn't around at that time, Soso Soberekon, the guy that produced Obodo Zenugo for Clean the Drunk, was drumming in the church. And so he was the one that looked at the guy and said, while we're waiting, let this boy just climb the stage and perform. And so they now gave me the opportunity to say, okay, let him just go. And when I was on that stage, Jerry came into the hall. And I was, you know, having a swell moment on stage. I'd had about 2 standing ovation in the course of my performance, and I had about 5 standing ovation in the course of that performance. Wow. Because, you know, I was willing to seize that opportunity, and I was prepared for it. And by the time I was done, Jedi ran on stage and he heard me, and he was like, "Man, this is something that is waiting to explode. Wow, this guy is an amazing talent," and he said all those stuff, and I was just saying amen. And by the time we finished that program, they invited Jedi, but Jedi ended up putting his hand on my shoulder and walking towards his car. We walked to his car, and as we were going, he'd asked me, he said, you said your name now Seyi Easy. What will be your Seyi Easy? Seyi Easy. That was what he said, Seyi Easy. What will be your other name? I said, my name no be Seyi. My name na Lawrence Idile. At that time, you know why I said comedy chose me? Let me tell you something that happened 2 weeks prior to that time. I was walking on the road, a man called me, was calling out to me, Oluwa Seyitan, Oluwa Seyitan. I didn't answer him. And then the man touched me. And he said, Oluwa Seyitan. I said, oh God, my name no be Oluwa Seyitan. Wow. And he said, that is your name. I looked at him, I just used to, you know, I just walk on like, who be this one? I said, my name no be Oluwa Seyitan. He said, your name no Oluwa Seyitan. And then 2 weeks after, when I met Jedi, and Jedi said, I think you say your name now Seyi Easy. I said, no. He said, what will be your name? I said, Seyi Easy. He said, I think say your name now Seyi. Not be Oluwa Seyitan they call you. I said, no, not be Oluwa Seyitan. He said, your name now Oluwa Seyitan. And just take Seyi from Oluwa Seyitan and Love from Lawrence and made it together and make Lawrence. And I said, wow, this is some sort of confirmation, you know. And that was how I adopted the name Oluwa Seyitan. And then I picked Seyi from Oluwa Seyitan and Love from Lawrence. And every time I tell people my name is Seyi Law, people now ask, they're forced to ask questions. Did you study law? And so that became a means to start a conversation with anybody. And after I started using that name Seyi Law, it's never been anybody stopping me.
Well, let's just say that you were anointed on the altar. Abi?
On an altar that I was deemed not fit to be on.
Deemed not fit to be on.
You know, so I'm a child of grace.
Obviously. We have just about 4 minutes or so now to go, but let me ask you this one. You've told us this story, and I'm very, very sure that a good number of people are challenged, inspired, motivated by it. One of the lessons that I picked from the things that you said is things could be really tough and rough. And people hear these motivational speeches that no matter how tough it is, you know, just hold on and all those things. How easy is it to hold on when things are really tough?
I think one of the first things that a lot of people need to learn is gratitude. If you learn to be contented, contentment doesn't mean that you are not ambitious. Contentment is being grateful for the level that you are, hoping to attain another greater level. If you learn to be contented and you've learned to give your heart to gratitude, then to wait will become easier.
Okay, we have to close now, but you are going to have to tell us who you are. The Senate is closing already, having their valedictory session now. You have to, and I know that you've got quite some flack for this government came into, but tell us the funniest thing that you can reference, maybe as a joke or whatever, about this National Assembly. That is this Senate or this
the ninth Senate that is closing already, because we're moving to the 10th Senate. I think one of my favorite thing that happened in that Senate is I have forgotten, I don't know why the name just skipped my mind now. The man that said our economy is, our economy is doing like this, That man seems to be a prophet. The man said the BFLA can make you a billionaire without you even coming out to the sun. And quite unfortunate, Emefiele will be seeing the sun very soon.
What do you mean by that? Don't even answer that question. Well, I wasn't expecting that this conversation will go this way, but I am personally challenged by your story this morning, Seyi. Thank you so much for your time. And I am very sure that this is not going to be the last of it. Idile Oluwaseyitan, you should put that in inverted commas. Lawrence, Aletile.
All the names very meaningful, strong meanings.
Certainly.
Idile means from a royal family.
I don't need to be told.
Oluwaseyitan, God has perfected this.
Yeah.
Lawrence means crowned with victory, and Aletile means my end has not come, there is still hope for me. And so, when you bear that name, you're confident of success always.
The fact that you're even a foreigner, I didn't mention that one. Born in Gabon and you're in Nigeria. We'll talk about that one another time. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome, Alex.